to pass Neil Hodgson. He must try and, well, if he made a double, that'll be the first double of the year. Rutter up to 6 now, so Michael Rutter, the man who finished second in race 1 in the rain, is up to 6th in the dry. So Race Stringers Level 3 Yamaha team having a great day. Hodgson keeping it tight at the hairpin.
All right, Keith, let's have a prediction from you.
There's only two places.
Which are?
Duffer's Dip and the hairpin.
First corner, last corner.
Yeah, got to make a mistake anywhere in between to get past. So really, Hodgson has got to cover this particular breaking point here, where I've got to say he looks pretty good down this hill. He's looked very good. The place where the Suzuki has been very good with Walker on it is down into the hairpin. He gets loads of drive out of that last turn and really seems to be able to ram it up the inside. I'll eat my hat if he manages to make a pass in a place like the chicane, but it is Chris Walker we're talking about here. Now then, keep an eye on, I wonder whether Hodgson certainly seems to be just not quite getting the drive out of these faster turns.
Tyres?
Well, let's keep an eye on it and see what happens. I can't see him leaving the black line. It does wiggle a bit, though, there, where he's asking for full power here. There, that's the place. Oh, and he got it a bit wrong there, Hodgson. Hodgson definitely got it skipping on the way in. Yes, he went right. He got it skipping on the way in. He got it skipping on the way in. Left the door fractionally open. And Chris Walker never needs an invitation issuing because he'll just gate crash any old party. Okay, it's Walker now that's got to see what he can do from the front. Has he got something extra over Neil Hodgson? We're about to find out. We're on lap 27 of the 28. Hodgson building again, no doubt, through McIntyre's. He now has to really put the pressure on Walker. Whoa, that says it all in the graphic. Hodgson with 800 of a second. You've got to say that Walker put enough pressure on Hodgson. Now he has just a lap and a half to regain the advantage, Jules.
And was that a genuine mistake we saw from Neil Hodgson?
Absolutely, it really was a mistake. On the way into the corner, he got it all skipping. We'll take a look at it now. He was skipping on the way in on the brakes. He could do nothing. He was in too hot. Had to run wide to scrub the speed off before he could tip the bike on its side. And Chris Walker just nipped straight through. 99 then, coming up to be lapped, David Hill. David Hill, well, he was on a double-double recently, wasn't he?
He was indeed.
Old Park, he'd been doing so well, won the last 4 races, and second place to John Crockford today.
Now then,
at the moment, anyway.
What's the gap? What's the gap? Has Walker pulled a significant lead? Looks good enough to me so far, Keith.
Yeah, but we're on the last lap now. Has Neil... Oh, that's a big lead now. I think Neil Hodgson has decided that, well... maybe it's involuntary. Well, oh yeah, he saw a big black line there from Hodgson. So Hodgson has got a rear tyre problem. Definitely at that. He really was spinning the rear end of that bike. Then I reckon that Walker has got the better setup over Neil Hodgson. So Chris Walker is going to get the first double win of this year's series. Chris Walker has been dominant north of the border. It's going to be Walker then that takes the second win of the day. John Crockford goes across the line to beat 99 David Hill in the privateers battle, but it's yes, it is Walker who wins the second race today. He's won in the wet, he's won in the dry. Neil Hodgson has been absolutely vanquished, and that closes the championship, in my reckoning, up to just 1 point between the two men. Hodgson still leads. Number 2 will go into number 1, I think he's trying to tell us.
He will do, but not this time, because the gap is just 1 point now. Walker, Hodgson, Hayden, the top 3. John Reynolds 4th, Crawford 5th, Michael Rutter 6th, his teammate Young 7th, and Sean Emmett, top Honda this time, in 8th. In front of Plater, Brown, Crockford, Heel, Blackley, Tom Kipp scores 2 points, and Dean Ellison 1. Crockford, the privateer winner, Dave Heel and Blackley also on the privateers rostrum.
Ironic that our graphics covered the number 7 bike there of Neil Mackenzie, stricken by the side of the road, but stamping it through the gears for a big burnout. Chris Walker then, the double winner in front of a huge crowd here at Knock Hill. The sun came out for them. They're going to be going home satisfied. So is Chris Walker. But also on his way in the pace car, Neil Mackenzie. One of the reasons why there's such a huge crowd here today, he started from pole.
Huge congratulations, that was absolutely fantastic. That victory is going to taste so sweet, the first double of the season.
Yeah, I'm so chuffed. The bike's been working really good all weekend. We knew we got a chance, but it's one of those tracks where just a little mistake and you go from 1st to 5th, you know, down the hairpin or something. I plugged away. Neil rode fantastically, as he always does at the moment, and I just really had to sit and wait for him to make a mistake. Unfortunately, a lap to go, he just ran a little bit wide at the hairpin and gave me a chance.
Closed my eyes when I saw you tangle up with those back markers. Terrifying.
Me too.
Absolutely. Well, you'll be aware now you're only 1 point behind. That is so close.
Yeah, bring it on.
It was just really physical for me out there, and I was having problems being consistent just because the arm. But it got to a stage where it was just didn't get any more painful. That was how it was, and so I just tried to put it out of my mind. And it's a lot of thanks to Dunlop and the team and everyone who's worked on me actually in between Brands and here, because to be honest, I didn't think I was going to be able to do that race, and so to get a third is great. And yeah, I mean, Neil and Chris both rode excellent, so it was kind of, you know, I think to get a third as I am, it'd be like a win normally.
You're obviously going to be disappointed with that because you were leading for such a long way.
Yeah, I gambled for a soft tyre and paid the price really. The last 5 laps it was a joke, you know. I was even having to shut off on the straight, on the left-hander on the straight, because it was just all over the show. It was getting a little bit dangerous really, so very pleased with second really. I don't know if the tyre was falling to pieces, but it's really poor.
Do you know what, before the start of the race, I've never seen you looking so aggressive. You scared me. I've never seen such an aggressive start from you either.
Yeah, I felt really determined. You know, if the tyre had held together then we wouldn't have had a problem, but it was my decision to run a softer one, and I can only kick myself out, pay the price, you know. It's one of those things, but it's all good fun.
Well, John, huge congratulations for qualifying first of all, because you qualified in front of 4 factory boys, but you certainly put on a good show for us today.
Yeah, great. I mean, first race, you know, fantastic start, and managed to keep sort of like some of the factory boys at bay. Unfortunately, I had to come in together, and yeah, but we still finished second privateer. And the second race, yeah, I led it from start to finish. Dave Hill was closing me at the end. I sustained a wrist injury in the first race crash. That was hindering me a fraction, but no, I timed it correctly and took the checker flag.
And hindering Neil Hodgson is Chris Walker. Look at that, just 1 point behind now. John Reynolds drops down to 3rd place, but he's still in the championship. Hayden 4th, Hislop in 5th place, Neil Mackenzie 6th, John Crawford 7th, and Steve Plater 8th. The privateers, Crockford extends his lead over David Hill, Gordon Blackley 3rd, Nigel Nottingham in 4th place, Davy Wood 5th, Williamson, Marks and Jones round out the top 8. John Crockford continues his rise to fame and possibly a works ride next year. He has to be one of the most professional and fast privateers we've seen in recent years. And it's another slipstream performance for Chris Walker, this time behind the National Tyres Suzuki girl. John Crockford takes on the works boys again, despite being well outnumbered. And Neil Hodgson finds himself behind another Suzuki team member again. This time, he knows how to deal with it. For Chris Walker, the day could not have been better. For others,
It was a really good race for you to start with. You were up there with them. Physically, thankfully, you're fine, but emotionally, obviously not.
Yeah, been a brilliant weekend in Knockhill. We qualified on pole. First race was a bit of a damage limitation in the wet, but I really felt if it was dry, I could at the very worst finish on the podium and if not, go close to winning. And it was looking like that. Chris and Neil weren't getting away. In fact, I was closing on them. And I was feeling quite comfortable, but I just got caught out at Clark's and Highside. But anyway, there's always another race.
Well, John, we obviously know the disappointment from race 1, but you did manage to salvage some points. But we're used to seeing you on the podium, so it has been a disappointing weekend for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has. Yeah, it's been 2 or 3 meetings. Well, in fact, 2 meetings now where we've had a bit of a disappointing end to it. But we need to regroup and get sorted out for Cadwell Park.
Obviously, the championship is hotting up now in terms of points, so you'll be more determined on the next round.
Oh, no doubt about it. But I mean, to be fair, I was determined here. You know, I really did need to make things work, and I always seem to have a big problem here at Knockhill. He's getting out of the hairpin up the back straight there. I lose 10 or 15 yards every time. I think it's because my size, I'm so small that I just can't keep the front wheel of the bike down.
It seems to be the kind of circuit you either love or you hate, and it's obviously the latter for you then.
Not at all, no, to be honest, Claire. I do love coming up to Scotland, you know, and it's such a friendly circuit Knockhill is, and I enjoy the circuit, but at the end of the day, you know, it would make it even better if I could ride the thing fast. I mean, I'm there or thereabouts, but to lose 15, 20 yards to the people like, you know, Chris and Neil and that, you know, you just can't make it up around the rest of the circuit.
Chris Walker has finished second in the British Series 3 times. If he can carry his Knockhill momentum over the final 4 rounds this year, he could be champion. The next round is at Cadwell Park in 2 weeks' time, and we'll be there to bring you the action. But next Wednesday, we've more from Knockhill in Scotland. It's our Full Throttle programme, and that's on Wednesday the 23rd of August at 10:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 2. That's it then. then for this week from Claire, Julian and myself. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.